And once we do our team introductions, we'll pass it over to the partners, and then you can share your screen for presentations. Okay. All right. So again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the mentor meeting for the winter 2024 cohort for the Resource Assistance Program. My name is Sylvia Staples, and I have the pleasure of serving as your Resource Assistant Program Manager for the agency. Been managing this program nationally since sometime in 2020, but officially 2021. But I've been working with RAP since 2017, so it's been a long time working in this program at various levels, and it's a pleasure to serve in this role. This is a very big program. It's a program that is continuing to expand. We're doing a lot of amazing things across the agency in various disciplines, in which you will see and learn more about later. But I couldn't do this program and manage this program without the help of my team. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Vanessa.
Hi all, I'm Lady Vanessa Reyes. First name is Lady, middle name is Vanessa, and I like both my names, so feel free to choose either one. I am program specialist for RAP, and I myself have been an RA since 2019, and I joined the Forest Service as a RAP program specialist, and I've just been enjoying engaging with RAs. I mostly help with onboarding, orientation, RAP engagement, lots of operations. So a lot of the background end. So yeah, welcome to RAP. I hope you enjoy, and it's going to be a meaningful experience.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it over to Mimi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michaela Pryor. I go by Mimi. I'm the resource assistant for RAP.
Thank you. And we have one other team member who, again, is not on the call right now. She's on another call, but her name is Michaela Hall. And I'll just go ahead and make this big public service announcement at this time. For those of you that may not know, I am expecting and I will be going on maternity leave as of August the 25th. And so during my time away, Michaela Hall has been announced to step into my role as the resources and program manager. So if you know her, send her congrats, welcome her to the program in her official new role soon to be. And you guys just I look forward to you guys being able to work with her. She's amazing, and she is very familiar with rap, and you still have the support of a lot of other familiar faces. So just wanted to make that quick announcement. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start with my partners again. I want them to be able to go ahead and introduce themselves and give a quick spiel of what's going to happen next, and then we'll get into my presentation. So we'll let the big staff go first. So we'll pass it over to HAF, Hispanic Access Foundation.
Thank you, Sylvia, and hello, everyone. My name is Nina Martin. I'm Program Manager for Hispanic Access Foundation, and we have the full team on today. We have all of our associates joining us, and Sylvia, do you want us to dive into the descriptions part too in this segment?
Yes, just you can go ahead and introduce yourself and then just talk about what's going to be expected when you guys ask for the PD. Yes.
Sure. Okay. Well, then I will go ahead and open the floor for the rest of our team to introduce themselves. I'll pass it on to Michelle.
Thanks, Nina. Hi, everyone. Michelle Neuenschwander, Program Director with the Mono Project of Hispanic Access Foundation. Nina will actually be a main point of contact moving forward starting in January. So just so you all aware, she will be the first point of contact for our team. And then we have some other team members, I believe. If you please unmute your camera, team, and feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anastasia Hernandez, also Program Associate with Hispanic Access, the Mono Project. Nice to meet you all today, and congratulations, Sylvia. So exciting.
Hi, everybody. My name is Crystal Strong, another Program Associate. Nice to be on the call today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yvonne. I'm sorry. Who's supposed to go? Oh, okay. I'm Yvonne. I'm Administrative Coordinator with the Hispanic Access Mono team. Really happy to be here and nice to meet everyone.
Hi, my name is Karina Chavez. I'm a program associate with the Mono team. Happy to meet you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Pereira. I am also a program associate with the Mono team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria Pedrosa. I am a program associate with the Mono team as well. Big team.
Hi everyone, buenas tardes. Hope y'all are hearing me having technical problems. I'm Yashira Valentin Feliciano, reporting from Tampa, Florida, also a Mono Program Associate. Y felicidades, Sylvia.
Holding that deep pause to make sure we didn't miss anybody. Well, so obviously we have a full staff. So for the mentors on the call, your main points of contact are going to be one of our 6 associates on the call, and we tend to categorize or assign our position management regionally. So we have 3 staff members on the East Coast. We have Anastasia Hernandez, Crystal Strong, and Yashira Valentin Feliciano. We have on the West, and Stephanie Pereira. On the West Coast, we have Victoria Pedrosa and Karina Chavez. And then for our Midwestern positions, we find, depending on how far out you are, we'll find someone closest to the time zone that you're in to help administer that position. But when we receive our assignments from Sylvia, we go ahead and assign our associates, and then the lead associate for your position that you will be supervising will reach out to you and request a position description. Sylvia, I do have a sample description if I'm able to screen share it, but I don't think I have the permissions right now. Oh wait, I do. I see it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's the app. The app's giving me trouble. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen, and this is actually pulled from our website. All of our positions are posted on monoproject.org/internships. And what will be requested of you is, this is a sample description, and you'll see in red all of the fields we're going to ask for and a little bit of guidance. We'll ask, of course, for the title, what kind of position it is, as in remote, in-person, or hybrid. We, of course, start and end dates are pretty uniform for the cohort, as well as the working hours. We'll confirm the location of the fellowship. And then as far as the meat of the description, we're going to ask for a bit of background on the projects they'll be working on, as well as their specific duties. And then we always tack on this piece about the expectations regarding communication with our team. In order to help assist in our search, we're going to ask for what are some of the qualifications that you're looking for. And I do want to emphasize, as I'm sure some of my fellow partners on this call will share, when we're talking about desired qualifications and minimum qualifications, I encourage you to be really intentional about what is going to be teachable on the job, what is going to be developmental, and what are those hard and soft skills that you're going to need from the get-go. Remember, we are staffing for developmental roles. We're looking to have people grow in this opportunity. We're not hiring with the same standard that we hold for permanent staff, and we're also not hiring with the same scope that you would, say, for a seasonal staff member. So really think about how is this role going to fit into your team, what you're going to be able to teach and impart as part of your mentorship, and weigh that as a desired qualification or a minimum qualification. By default, because of the demands of the certificate, we do require that applicants are able to provide proof of citizenship or residency in order to acquire the DHA. They must be 17 years of age or older, and they must have a driver's license to be able to perform some of the duties of their government work. We will then ask for working conditions. This is particularly important for anybody who's going to be doing work in the field. They're going to be out hiking, doing work under inclement weather. These are important conditions for people to know so that they understand what the demands of their role are going to be and understand any sort of physical requirements for the role. And then stipend and benefits are very standard. Of course, these are set depending on the position. Some technicians have some higher stipends while others have lower, but the housing stipends and commuting stipends and professional development benefits, as well as health insurance, are standard across the board. So this is something we do share in the description. And then below, we just include the primary program associate email for who is managing this position. They will be screening your applications with some assistance from our team and sending you the top candidates for your position. But after we've passed the application due date, typically we set them on Sundays just to give people some extra time to get their applications in. And then we have our mission statements here. So when we get our assignments, a program associate in your region will reach out to you to forward this description. And if you have any questions about how to structure some of your position description, how to word things, we're also happy to provide that guidance. I will say, wherever we can, we want to be accessible in our language and ensure that we are showcasing not just what the responsibilities are, but a bit about the culture, a bit about the work environment. That's something that really attracts people to these roles, having an understanding of the kind of team they're going to work with. So when you think about your description, don't just think about the responsibilities by rote, but also think about how you can showcase what kind of culture they're going to be walking into, as well as the unique benefits of working at your site. What does your site have to offer, whether it's the environment, whether it's the people, and all of these other niche things that only you know about your site. And that would be that's the expectation regarding project descriptions. And should you need any guidance or information about, say, where your position falls in a certain agreement, funding questions, associates will loop me into that conversation as well as Sylvia as needed to answer your questions. And I think that's the scope of it, Sylvia.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much, Nina. And a lot of the information that Nina shared is across the board through all of our partners. That's going to be kind of the same kind of level of expectation, is to make sure that you are providing, the information and being very transparent about, the specific duties of the position, what's going to be the expectation, the roles, and as well as the culture and, the environment, especially if they're going to be in person. So thank you, Nina. You did an amazing job. And we're going to pass it over to, let's see. Well, I see GYF on the screen, so I'll just go ahead and pass it over to Shatiba.
Hello, all the way here from sunny Atlanta. I'm Shatiba Bradley. I'm the Director of Programs. So I have the honor of working with the awesome Jana Reed Thomas, which is on vacation right now. So she is definitely all things rap. We also have various team members. Adam will come next, but not on this call. We have Danny Miguel, Rashida Jackson, and a few others. So our team will expand and contract based off of the needs of the current cohort. So we always have other members that we'll pull in for recruitment. So, but that is the primary team led by Jana Reed. So if you haven't met her, you'll meet her after vacation. So what we do, very similar to the last partner that spoke, is we engage thousands of students for that recruitment piece and want to be more diverse with our recruitment on historical Black colleges and university campuses and indigenous tribes. So we want to make sure we're reaching out. So that's what we've been doing. And we just came out of the RAP conference world. So we are 2 in for our organization. We hosted the RAP orientation in Helen, Georgia, and of course the Copper Mountain, Denver, which is a large undertaking. And we made it out alive. So it was big and robust. And for all the people on this call who have played a part, it definitely takes a village to run a conference. And I know Sylvia is working out the behind the scenes on the next one. So I'm just thankful to be here. And I'll pass it off to Adam.
Thank you, Shatiba. Yeah, my name is Adam King. I am a program manager with the Green and Youth Foundation. I just want to say thank you to all the mentors. Briefly, I would just say that in discussing their relationship with all of you, they started late June, going through July. It's now August. Just don't be afraid to utilize them, right? Like it's they're there for a reason. They want to work. They have energy. They have youthfulness. They want to be utilized. And so don't be afraid to ask them to do things, to put them in the field, to put them to work. That's what they're there for. And I don't have any complaints of, hey, they're working me too hard. The only complaints I have are, hey, they're not giving me enough to do. So as a mentor, please just make sure that you are using them as a resource, which is what they exactly what they are for you. And And so far, so good. Thank you for all of your hard work, and thank you for all that you're doing.
Okay. Shatiba, do you guys have a screenshot or anything on your intake form that you would like to share that may be unique from what have shared?
We don't, and actually Jana didn't send it over, so I don't have it, and I'm sorry I wasn't prepared to present. But it's
That's
very
okay.
similar to what I just saw for the last one, so not a lot of uniqueness on that level, but thank you.
Okay. All right. Awesome. No problem. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. We're going to move forward and we're going to pass it over to Tomby with Mobilize Screen.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanvi. I use she, her pronouns, and I am one of Mobilize Green's program coordinators. I am the main coordinator in charge of the resource assistance program. So if you're assigned to Mobilize Green, I will be your main point of contact throughout the process. I can go ahead and share what our intake form looks like. So if you're assigned to Mobilize Green, the first thing that we'll do is send you this recruitment survey. It's very similar to what Nina described in that we just want all the information so we can have a good idea of who you would like in your resource assistant and who we should be looking for in the applicant. So you will fill this out with your email, title, all the information about the position. We ask for any other contacts. So if you have anyone else who's involved in the recruiting process or who you might be mentoring along with, we want to loop them into that conversation. Make sure that we have the stipend amounts that are linked directly to the budget. So if you aren't familiar with what is allotted for your position, I recommend reaching out to your regional RAP coordinator or to the Washington office here. Now that you've got to meet all of them. This is also important to know, like if you will have housing available for your resource assistant, because they will be asking us those questions, they'll be asking you those questions, they'll be asking anyone that they've gotten to meet in the process all these questions about what's provided to them. We also have samples of position descriptions that we've used in the past within the survey, so you'll have a good idea of what we're looking for there. But echoing Nina and Sylvia, the more detailed and more descriptive you can get, the better for the people who are applying. After that, we will review applications, and then we'll reach out to you with some of our top applicants and recommendations for you all. But in general, we are excited to be here again this year and looking forward to meeting you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tomby. All right, we're going to pass it over to Manners. Ashanti?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ashanti Smith. I'm the business manager for the National Organization of Manners. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Green and Youth Foundation, and I'm very excited to be here. Our resource assistant team has actually grown as of this week. We hired someone permanently to our team to manage our RAP program, but similar to the other organizations that have presented. You'll be hearing from either Darren or Ebony, and I don't think either one of them are on, as far as getting your position descriptions. I can share my screen, I think, about what that looks like. Maybe. Sorry. Okay, it's coming. Well, I will share our website first then. Okay. So this is where people can go on our website to view all of our internships. And then this screen is where we'll post all of the positions that we'll get in. These are clickable and they're able to click and view the exact position description, and it asks for similar information, job title, start date. You do not have to include your email address or your phone number on the position description. A brief overview of the job responsibilities, and then we also ask for qualifications, like if you're asking for specific degrees or qualifications for them to have as well.
I want to say that is all from my side. But as soon as we get the list from the WO office, then we'll reach out to you all.
All right, thank you so much, Ashanti and Manners. All right, well, last but not least, we're going to pass it over to EFTA. Catherine, Jose.
Yes, I'm here. Ooh, goodness gracious, the lighting. Kinda, I feel like I'm in a seance. Catherine, are you with us? That's about all y'all gonna get though. Jose, are you here?
I am here. Hello, everybody.
Yes. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Jose Barrientos, and I am currently the Cohort 7 internship lead. So I assist Catherine in all things rap and manage my own team right now. And I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of the partners and the partnership team in Colorado. And it was an amazing time.
Thanks, Jose. At Environments for the Americas, we have a pretty small rap team, but it used to be just me, so we're growing, you know. For this cohort, I will definitely be the main point of contact. I'm way more loud and colorful. This lighting and this gray thing that I got going on, I have no idea what's happening. But and we're going to send you, I really love what Nina said. Everything that Nina said, can y'all do that? Right? I'm going to send you a type form. It's going to ask you the questions that we need to get a good job description, you know, relevant experiences that you're looking for, types of majors that may be successful in the role. I'm also going to open up my schedule. I would really love to like connect one-on-one, like nothing long, but to get a real good idea. In my experience, if we do that early, we get a better outcome. And our executive director is wanting more information on working conditions so we can get the appropriate insurance coverage. Because, you know, sometimes you may have something for them to do that we can't cover, you know. So we need to know all of that type of thing up front. Who are the contact people? Like who is it? And then just to manage our expectations, after we recruit and get all of these positions and go through all of our pre-screening, I'm only gonna send you like 3-4 folks, right? And they, by the time you get those 3-4, they're great. Everyone great. You can pick any of those 3-4. But I'm not gonna like go through the whole 30 applicant list with you. We're gonna pre-screen and send you our top 3-4. That's what we're gonna do. And I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And good to see you guys. And yeah, she is a lot more colorful. All right, thank you so much to our partners. And again, those are our 5 national partners, and you'll learn more about, you know, our partnership throughout my presentation. But again, I wanted to invite them to this call just so they could do a quick introduction so that when they reach out to you, that's not the first time that you are introduced to them, and you'll know why they're reaching out and you can be responsive, right? And so hopefully this will increase our communications, as we have had challenges in the past with, you know, obtaining those PDs and it taking a while. So we're hopeful that this introduction to the partners early on will help you and benefit you as you prepare to provide them the PDs for recruitment. So again, thank you guys so much, partners, for joining. You're welcome to stay on throughout the presentation if you would like. So with that, Vanessa.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. So I'm going to give you guys a quick presentation, a very thorough presentation though, of the Resource Assistance Program. and all things about the program, things that are going to be expected in your roles as the mentor. We also have some liaisons on call, so we'll go through that. But again, I'm Sylvia Staples, your Resource System Program Manager, and we fall under the Workforce Development Partnership. Next slide. All right, so the Resource Assistance Program, if this is your first time here, let us know in the chat. If you are a first-time mentor, we'd love to see if this is your first go around. If you're a second timer, if you're a veteran, if you've done this 2 or more times and you're now a veteran, we'd love to know that too. So drop us some stuff in the chat and let us know how familiar you are with the program. But the Resource Assistance Program was established in the agency back in 2016. And by definition, it is a rigorous and immersive paid experience for individuals interested in conservation, natural and cultural resources, environmental management, research and development, or other career opportunities. With this program, we are able to provide preference or prioritize the engagement of current students, but we really like to focus on recent graduates, as well as those that are coming from underrepresented communities and minority serving institutions. So your Hispanic serving institutions, which are known as your HSIs, your HBCUs, your historically Black colleges and universities, your tribal colleges and tribal schools. Those are the universities that we're wanting to focus on to really, again, tap into those underrepresented communities as well as women. So to date, since 2016, we've engaged over 1,200 or so RAs, and the program continues to grow. Our smallest cohort was probably around 42 RAs, and our largest cohort has been that we've successfully filled for positions has been probably about 130-ish. So that's where we are. But again, we continue to grow each cohort in this program. So that's what the program is. I always like to say that this program is not a get work done program. This program was strategically designed for us to reach underrepresented communities and bring them into the agency, remove those barriers that one might face when trying to start their careers in an agency like the Forest Service. This program also helps us to address the Forest Service Equity Action Item number 3, which is achieving a representative, inclusive, and thriving workforce. So I just wanted to share that. Next slide. All right, so the objectives of this program are exactly what you see here on the screen. We want to make sure that we are attracting and we are providing a developmental experience and then retaining this diverse group of emerging professionals in our workforce. So again, this program isn't like any other get work done. It's about the development of these individuals. It's about that mentorship, that networking that they're going to receive in this program. And so we want to be very intentional and very strategic about how we develop them. And so with this program, I like to say that I encourage you to look at your participant, your RA, as someone green. You may get someone that is fresh out of college. They may not have, tons of experience. And that's the beauty of this program, because it is a developmental program. So there should not be an expectation that you're going to get someone that's going to come in and hit the ground running and need little to no mentorship or guidance, right? Again, that's the purpose and the intent of the program. And you guys will hear me say that over and over again, because I think a lot of times people kind of have the wrong idea of what this program is. And again, the main thing is that it is a developmental program. So next slide. And really quick, go back really quick. Those pictures are some amazing pictures from our RAs. They have done some incredible work in the agency. A lot of them have received a lot of first-time experiences. So throughout my presentation, you'll see pictures of RAs. So just wanted to point that out. Okay. All right, so talking a little bit about the benefits of the program. So with this program, again, we are wanting to engage emerging professionals, focusing on recent graduates. Most of our candidates that are applying for this position and that are selected do come in with a bachelor's degree, but they can have a minimum of an associate's degree but we have also had master's degree candidates as well as those with PhDs. So as these emerging professionals come into the program, the benefits that we provide are going to be a stipend. This stipend, you guys may be familiar for when you first had requested an RA position and you selected that 500, 650, or 750 stipend amount. That's going to be the stipend that they receive. So just depending on which one you selected, or if your position was a Washington office funded position, will determine what that stipend amount will be for your RA. Okay, so they're going to receive that a week. In addition to that, they also get a housing allowance. Each RA will receive $1,000 a month as a housing allowance, and this is for all RAs, so in person and virtual. In addition to that, they also can opt in or opt out of healthcare. So once in the beginning of the program, we fund or allocate funding for healthcare for all of the RAs. But every now and then you may have some RAs that may not need the healthcare, and so they can opt out. And so if they do opt out, then we are able to, reallocate those funds to support additional time or additional training travel funds. So we can kind of get a little creative there. But again, it just depends on if they opt in or opt out. The other benefits that they receive are going to be the training travel funds. The training travel funds, they're going to receive $2,750 of training travel funds. Again, these funds, I really want to put emphasis on this right now to set the stage and the expectations of the training travel funds. Those funds are for their professional development. When I say professional development, I mean, if they're going to go to a conference, if they're going to go to get some type of training that's going to be beneficial not only to just the position that they're currently working in, but if it's their long-term goal to become a wildlife biologist and they are lacking 2 credit hours and they would like to enroll into a university, they can do that with those training travel funds because it supports their professional development. And so in the past, we have received a lot of questions about, sending as an example, sending an RA to a neighboring unit to get work done. That is getting work done. Yes, it does help them to develop. However, $2,750, as you guys know, is not a lot of money. So we really want to make sure that we are using that money to benefit the RA. And so make sure you're having a conversation with the RA. You can share trainings with them. They can share the trainings with you that they are most interested in. And you guys can kind of agree on how that $2,750 will be spent or utilized. But we encourage you, if you do have any other tasks or duties that need to be done that's going to require funding, that you guys will do the invitational travel and pay for those travel accommodations in-house versus using their training travel fund. So just wanted to put that out there early. Again, we'll talk more about that later. The RAs also receive paid time off. If you have an 8-month RA, they will get 7 days of PTO. If they have a 12-month RA, they receive 10 days of PTO. In addition to these particular days off, they also receive the federal holidays off. So any federal holidays that we have off, they will also have off, as well as the early releases. So make sure you're keeping track of that. And the last 2 things that I want to point out that they have are going to be, if you have an in-person RA, they receive $50 a month as a commuter allowance. But if they're in person, they will not receive that commuter allowance. The biggest benefit, or the last 2 biggest benefits of this all, is the networking and mentorship that they're going to receive while in this position. Again, some of these RAs may be green. And so coming into this role, this may be the first time that they're ever connected to real subject matter experts that are working in the field and working in positions that they someday dream to be in. And so it's going to be important for you as a mentor to not only develop them in that position, but make sure that you understand what their goals and interests are and connect them to others that can also help influence them in their career and, share training opportunities or the other development opportunities. So the networking and mentorship is very, very important. And last but not least is going to be the biggest benefit of it all while we're here. And that's because of the direct hire authority and the non-competitive hiring eligibility. So each RA will be responsible for completing 960 minimum hours. Of course, an 8-month RA and 12-month RA will give them more hours than that. So that 960 is roughly about 6.5 months they'll receive those hours, and then they're able to receive their certificate if they already have their degree in hand. These certificates, or the certificate, will give them, again, 2 special hiring authorities. The first one is going to be the non-competitive, which means that they are able to take that certificate and apply to positions through USA Jobs that they normally would not have access to. So any positions that the Forest Service will advertise on USA Jobs for special authorities, then they're able to apply for those positions with their certificate. And then the second authority is the direct hire. I call this the Willy Wonka golden ticket, because again, it removes those barriers of having to fight through HR, having to fight through USA Jobs, and some of those other barriers that minorities typically face. And so with this direct hire authority, we are able to directly appoint them into a position without further competition, but they do have to meet the OPM requirements. So that's the reason why it's important to make sure that you are sharing with the partners the exact degree types that a person will need to be successful in not only being an RA for you, but to also qualify and transition into a permanent position into the agency. So making sure, again, that you tell them the specific degrees that they should be recruiting for. And then once they become an RA, you're going to give them that specialized experience. So having that positive education and the specialized experience will give them all of the qualification that they need to be directly appointed to a position. So those are the amazing benefits of the RAP program. Again, I don't think we really have anything else in the agency that's like this, because these benefits are pretty unique. So next slide. So RAP 2.0, if you have been familiar with RAP since it started back in 2016, 2017, then you'll know that in the past we have had individuals working on individual agreements with different partners. And so we weren't receiving good outcomes. You know, our RAs weren't getting hired. They weren't really getting meaningful experiences. And so we wanted to change that and improve our outcomes and our accountability. So in 2020, we reintroduced the program as a standard engagement across the agency in the cohort model. With this cohort model, we have 2 cohorts per year. We have a winter cohort and a summer cohort. Our winter cohort typically starts in the month of February, and then our summer cohort starts in the month of June, although next year is going to start in July. So with these 2 cohorts, we're able to hit both seasons, especially with them working 8 and 12 months. You're able to hit all seasons. So with your group, hopefully you selected the right cohort to not only be able to develop them, but make sure that they have some meaningful work to do while they're working with you. This cohort model allows us to really streamline our agreements and really support all of the RAs at the same level, making sure that they are getting the support that they need through onboarding, through our orientation that we provide, as well as while they are working and engaged as an RA. We provide a lot of support at the Washington office level. And again, this cohort model makes it easier for us to do so because they are in a cohort model. And it also provides, you know, or promotes that peer-to-peer support. So having someone that's in a program just like yours and just like you, and you're able to share experiences, trainings, concerns, challenges, and you have someone that can kind of help you get through it makes a world of a difference. And I know a lot of you may even know what that looks and feel like if you started back in the day when we had the trainee program. So again, this cohort model really allows us to provide a community of practice with all of the folks that it takes to administer and manage this program. So the RAs that come to this program, for eligibility wise, they are going to come in as either a current student or a recent grad. Again, we put preferences on recent grads just because of the term length of the program. But if you do so happen to select a current student, we do ask that they are on the tail end of their program. So if you find this knockout candidate and they are a senior and they just had 1 semester, that's okay. But we definitely wouldn't want to engage someone that's a sophomore or a junior, because we want them to work through their hours, get their certificate, and then they're hired. So want to make sure that you guys are looking for that. And the partners will also be screening for that as well. They must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident to apply to these positions for the program. And again, once they are a participant, they have to complete 960 hours. they must have a minimum of associate's degree and satisfactorily complete the program. So those are the eligibilities of this program as well. Next slide. All right, so the Resource Systems Program, again, we have the 2 cohorts per year. So you're probably wondering, how did I get here? Some of you may already know how you got here. But really quickly, we have this intake form that we open up twice a year. And so you were either selected, hopefully you were not volunteered to be a mentor for this program. But hopefully there was a conversation and you were selected to serve as a mentor in this program. And so a request was submitted for your unit, whether it was by your ranger, by your liaison. A request was submitted through our intake form, and then we went through a approval process by your region station area liaison, and then the final approval through the Washington office to have you selected as a mentor. So just to kind of give you guys a little reference, we had about 150 plus requests that were submitted for the winter 2024 cohort. But we did have about 60 plus positions that were deferred from previous cohorts that weren't filled. And we had a cap of 150. So as of right now, we're looking at a cohort about a 150, but we'll see where we are once recruitment is done. But that's how you got here. Again, a position was submitted on your behalf, or you submitted it yourself to engage in RA. So hopefully, you have things set up and you're ready to go in this program again, especially if it's your first time around. But if not, we have a lot of resources and a lot of support for you. But yeah, that's how that works. And let's see. The other thing that I'll say really quickly about how one thing that was different with this last requesting period is that, as you guys know, we're really trying to have a goal of hiring all RAs. Leadership have made it very clear that they want to hire all RAs that would like to be hired. So we wanted to see how we could increase the hiring goal or what efforts we could make. And so one of the things that we did was aligned a lot of these positions with the We Team events. And if you're not familiar with the We Team, that stands for Workforce Entry. So we have a team that is focused on entry-level positions into the agency, bringing new folks in. And so we aligned a lot of these RA positions with that particular team efforts. And so we're hoping that a lot of the RAs, if they're not hired right there on your unit, that they can be hired through the We Team events and some of the others. So that we're going to move forward. All right, so here on the screen, you see our partners, which we just introduced to all of you, our national partners at the top: Environment for the Americas, Mobilize Green, Hispanic Access Foundation, Manners, and Green and Youth Foundation. At the bottom, you see our regional partners: NCEP, Conservation Legacy, Great Basin Institute, Montana Conservation Corps, and Northwest Youth Corps. So if you are in one of the regions and you've heard of these regional partners, we do engage them, but at this level, the Washington office, we focus on the national agreements, and our regional RSA liaisons, they manage those regional agreements that we have with the regional partners, but we don't have any regional mentors in this particular group right now. So those are our partners. You can move right along. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the roles and responsibilities. So when it comes to the roles and responsibilities, there's a lot of people that kind of have a hand in the pot to make sure that this program is successful. So starting with the Washington office, my staff, in which you met earlier, we're responsible for the agreements, managing these agreements, making sure we get everything processed through G&A. We're approving the invoices, doing all the reporting, all of that policy stuff and behind the scene things. We also take care of all of the onboarding. Yes, we do take care of all of the onboarding, which means we will order your RA's computer. We will make sure that we request your RA's profile. We're going to do everything that we can do to support your RA, to make sure that they are ready to start on your unit, whether it's physically, in person, or virtually. We also provide them an orientation, which is a one-week orientation in which we expose them to the agency, and help them to just kind of get started. Again, a lot of these RAs are green, and so we want to make sure that they have a good foot to start on. So some of the sessions that they receive at orientation may be, intro to the Forest Service, Forest Service 101, history of the Forest Service, mindful resiliency, financial literacy, They receive a safety session. They also receive sessions on IDPs and training plans, a little bit of everything. And so again, we do this to make sure that they are set up for success with a lot of the resources and information that they need when they start in their position. And again, we also have continuing engagement support, which we'll go over later. The RO-RSA liaisons, which stands for Region Station Area Liaison. And right now, while I'm here talking about them, if you are a liaison, please go ahead and say hello in the chat box and tell them which region you are supporting. If you don't know who your liaison is, we will also share out a list of those liaisons that support the different research stations as well as the regions. But if you are on the call, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat box. So with those liaisons, they help us to approve those RA proposals. So again, once you submitted your proposal, they helped us to make sure that you were a good fit, that you were set up for success to properly mentor and develop the RA in this program, make sure that the funding was in place, and really just kind of coordinated all of those logistical things for us. They're also going to help support you through networking your RA, helping them to make sure that they're successful in their position, helping to work through some of those conflict management things if you have any issues with your RA, and just kind of serving like that middleman role between you, the Washington office, the partners, and the RA. And last but not least, they also issue the certificates. So once the RA has completed the program, then they will be responsible for issuing that certificate. So that's your liaison. That's your main support. So again, make sure you know who they are. And hello, liaisons. Our host unit and mentor, that's you. So your responsibility is to provide the direct work of the resource assistant and support that RA's development. And when I say development, again, sometimes that means not just professionally, but also personally. Especially because this program targets underrepresented communities. And as we all know, some of our units are not in diverse communities, so you may have someone, a minority that's moving to some place that there's no one that looks like them. So as a mentor, it's going to be your responsibility to make sure not to hold their hand, but to make sure that they have the support that they need to be successful, whether it's on the job or in the community, sharing things of where they should or maybe should not even go. But just again, making sure that you set them up for success, that you're applying with the program intent and providing them a good on-the-job experience and exposure, and also supporting the partner as well. So the partner's responsibility is to connect with you as a mentor, get your PD. They're going to post that job, do all of the outreach and recruitment. You too, as the mentor, can help with the recruitment by sharing your job posting link. And the partners are going to do the screening. So the information that you give them, as far as the candidate that you're looking for, they're going to screen these candidates to make sure that they provide you with the best candidate. And then they're going to make that job offer for you. And they're going to manage the benefits. And so all of those benefits that I talked about earlier, from the training travel to the stipends, all of that, they're going to be managing those benefits. So if you ever have any training or anything that you want your RA to do, they're going to submit that request to the partner, and the partner program managers are going to assist them with whatever that request might be. So your partner program manager is going to be they're going to be another level of support that you're going to need to be successful. They also provide additional program support to the RAs. A lot of our partners will have monthly or biweekly sessions with the RAs about different things that can promote their professional development, whether it's USA Jobs, federal resumes, how to network. They have different titles. So they do a lot of work too behind the scenes of supporting the RAs through various program support initiatives. And then last but not least, the resource assistant. Their role and responsibility is to just show up with an open mind, with a positive attitude, ready to learn, ready to dive into the agency, get to know us. And it's a long-term interview for them, is the way I like to look at it. So they're going to be developing their expertise by the task and the responsibilities that you give them, and to pursue this career development opportunity and perform essential Forest Service work. So those are the main responsibilities for those that are engaged in this program. Next. All right, so what's going to happen next? So this is just a quick snapshot of the winter 2024 timeline. You guys are going to receive an email after this is over, probably tomorrow, and it's going to have a more detailed timeline that really breaks down the recruitment, application, and onboarding timeline with deadlines. But this just kind of gives you an overview of what it looked like from the time that the positions were requested all the way up to the orientation. Again, as the partner stated at the beginning of the presentation, they're going to be provided a list of all of your contact information with your email address and the position information that you shared with us. But again, we know that sometimes things change from the time that you request a position by the time that we provide the information to the partner. So once the partner contacts you through their various ways of obtaining your PD information, it is your responsibility to respond back to them with all of that information that they went over earlier. And I'll just say that, in the past, we have had challenges where mentors have not been responsive. And if we know or we find out that you're not being responsive, then, we're going to ping you a few times, right? To say, hey, respond back to the partner that's trying to get your job posted. And it's very important for you guys to be responsive very early because we need as much time as possible to get through the recruitment to have enough time to find you the best candidate. But if you respond the last week of recruitment, then you're probably not even going to get an RA. So again, let's just make sure that we're being responsive. The last thing that I wanted to really point out about PDs, please do not provide the partners with an official Forest Service PD. Okay? Do not send them an official Forest Service PD. I've stressed this time and time before, and we still get mentors that will send that to the partner. Please do not share that. Fill out the form that they have, providing specific details of what your RA will be expected and not our general information that comes on a Forest Service PD. So just wanted to point that out. If you need assistance with your PD or you have questions, again, you can reach out to your partner program manager, but you also have your liaison. And your liaison have worked with other mentors in the past. So make sure that you are asking questions to provide, the information that they need to, again, get you the best candidate. And again, we'll provide a detailed timeline to all of you that's going to outline when the interviews should be done, when selections will need to be made. And again, this part is also equally important because we need you guys to be responsive, get those interviews done, make those selections so that partners can then make the job offers, and then we can start our onboarding. Onboarding takes a while. You guys have probably onboarded some employees through various programs. It's not an overnight thing, right? So we have to get computers ordered, we have to get profiles ordered, we have to get them through person model, all these different Forest Service systems. So our onboarding team needs all of that time. So make sure that you get that done in the time that we ask so that we have, again, the enough time to get through onboarding in preparation of the orientation. Okay. With that, I think that's all that I wanted to mainly share. Oh, the last thing is orientation will be February 5th through the 9th. More details will be soon coming about orientation. Next. So we've already went through this. The partners shared this earlier, but I had it as a part of my presentation just in case. But again, another little quick snapshot of what a PD request could potentially look like from one of the partners. This is one that managers have used in the past, just asking for, that general detailed information. Next slide. And then that's another one from GYF. Again, asking for the same type of general information, qualifications, et cetera, et cetera. So again, make sure that, again, one other thing I'll point out here for the qualifications, make sure that, again, if you do have like a professional series type position, let's say like a wildlife biologist, that you are putting that they need a wildlife degree. A biological or a biology degree will not suffice, or they will not be qualified for a position when they are trying to be hired. So again, make sure that you are saying they need an archaeology degree or they need a forestry degree or whatever that degree requirement would be. Make sure you put that in that qualifications piece. And then I know I said one more thing, but really one more thing that I will share. Again, this is a developmental program, as I will say time and time again. So please don't give the partners a long list of all of these skill sets that you're looking for, right? Because it's a development program, so the goal is for you to expose them and to develop them into these positions, not for them to hit the ground running. So wanted to make sure I put emphasis on those expectations as well. All right, next. So talking about the engagement of an RA by you as a mentor. So we'll have another presentation or webinar as we get closer. Once you have selected your RA, we'll have a webinar about onboarding, and then we'll have another webinar once we get through onboarding as we get ready to start your RA, to talk more about the individual development plans and work plans. But this is just an early snapshot. You guys can get started on this as early as possible to start outlining some of the things that you're going to have your RA doing, some of those projects, some of those developmental things that you could see them being successful in that position. So go ahead and outline some of these things so that when you do select your RA, then they can then add to that. And so you guys will have something to work off of. This is something that we do really require for each RA to have, just to make sure that they are receiving a quality experience. And again, they can be successful with being hired at the end of this program. So this is a full commitment, you guys, being a mentor of the resource system program. And when we say mentor, you're really the supervisor. We just don't use the term supervisor. We call you a mentor. So again, create these work plans, give them something to start with, clearly define those goals and expectations so that there's no confusion later on as far as what they were supposed to be doing or what they thought they would be doing in your position. And as I stated earlier, being a mentor sometimes means supporting them personally, sharing those different opportunities, whether it's a training or a conference or whatever it is. If you know that they're going to need to drive a vehicle, connecting them with the fleet manager. If they say that they're interested in fire, connect them with your FMO, your fire management officer. So those little things, make sure you really get to know your RA and see how you can best help them and support them with their career goals, and just try to provide the best job experience and training that you can, because although it is like I said, a long-term interview for them, we're also being interviewed, right? So let's say they have this experience and then they don't even want to work for the Forest Service no more based off the experience that they had in the RAP program. So we want to make a great impression on them to show them that we are an employer of choice, we are an agency of choice. So again, make sure that you're setting them up for success. The last thing I'll say about this really quickly is that early on, we want to make sure the other thing that's important for you to do is making sure that you understand where they can be or should be at certain points, because then there's going to be a request period that'll come. We're going to be asking, hey, are you interested in hiring your RA? And you're going to need to be responsive to us so that we can best support you. Next. So I talked about earlier the WO support. So each cohort that comes through, we provide them with a Microsoft Teams group per cohort. We also have an all RA cohort group, and then we have a group for the RAs that have transitioned into permanent employees. So they are able to talk to us on an ongoing basis daily, not necessarily just myself, but really Vanessa. Vanessa manages those chats, and she brings things to me that needs my guidance or anything or input, but she mainly manages that chat. And through this chat, again, the RAs are able to provide or share their experiences, share training opportunities, or any challenges or anything that they might have. And it's always really cool just to kind of see some of the conversations that they have. They meet up, and especially now that we have had 2 in-person orientations, they have been able to meet each other and start lifelong friendships. And so it's just really powerful and encouraging and inspiring to see that that communication that they have throughout these chats. So that's one of the things that the WO provides, is that level of support through Microsoft Teams. Again, we take care of the onboarding, orientation. We also provide workshops. So midway through their program, we'll have a workshop for all the RAs where we will go through USA Jobs, we'll go through federal resumes, the hiring process, hiring authorities, making sure that they truly understand what happens next and how to be successful in getting that permanent position. We provide them with outreach notices that are sent our way. We work with the hot team with all of those collective hiring events that come around. So SAF, SRM, the STEM hiring event, we're working through all of those. And there's going to be an upcoming RAP hiring event that we're working with, as well as the WE team. So again, we do a lot of work too behind the scene of trying to assist the RAs with not just being successful as an RA, but also being successful once their term is coming to an end and other training opportunities. Next. So as far as RAP hiring, this is just a quick snapshot of the certificate. We are in the process of updating our RAP certificate, so it'll look slightly different by the time your RA will receive their certificate, but just kind of want to show you guys what it looks like. And so again, once they hit the 960 hours, as long as they have a degree and they have those hours and they've been doing a good job, then they're able to be issued that certificate that you see on the left side. And again, the way we issue that, they will submit a request to the partner. The partner will then generate what we call a statement of completion that just kind of verifies that they, one, have a degree, that they did complete their hours, and that they were on a RAP agreement. And they're going to send that to the RSA liaison. And then the liaison is going to then generate that certificate that you see. They're going to get that signed by a regional forester, a deputy regional forester, a station director, or a Washington office director. And then they're going to issue that to the RA. Once the RA receives that, then they're able to then take it to, like the screenshot that you see on the right side, USA Jobs. They're able to take that to USA Jobs and apply for those positions using that non-competitive hiring authority or be directly appointed. So again, we are updating that form, and your RA will have that new form. And we always have a copy in the Washington office. So if your RA, for some reason, loses their certificate, then you're able to just contact us and we can provide you with a new copy. All right, next slide. So we're coming up to the end. Just wanted to share some data about the program. As you can see with this hiring data, when the program first started, we weren't doing a good job with hiring our RAs, right? And that was for a number of reasons, you know, whether it was HR or hiring managers, lack of knowledge of the program and the authorities, not really having a standard process in place, no strategy with recruiting. And so some of the things that happened along the way was in the Farm Bill of 2018, we received the Direct Hire Authority. So as you can see, in 2019, we had our first RA Direct Hire Authority action. And since then, our numbers have steadily increased for using the DHA as well as the non-comp, but more so the DHA. We had an e-tracker enhancement in our systems for the hiring action for RAs. And then we also started providing more webinars for the RAs to help them to understand how to get hired, webinars for hiring managers and also our partners. So we've done a lot of work to make sure that we can do our part to help increase the success of the program. And I think that the numbers show and the numbers reflect the work that we have put into this to make sure that this program is successful. But again, we still have a long way to go. But I did want to share the numbers from 2014 all the way up to 2022 with all of the quarters being represented. Next. So this slide here is just a quick snapshot of where we are right now with FY23 by quarter. So as you can see, in the first quarter, we had 37 DHA hiring actions. Q2, we had 30. And then Q3, we've had 31. And these numbers are reflected as of June. So I'm waiting on July numbers to come in and then we'll update this. But again, you can see that the RAP program is continuing to be expansive and continue to grow. And we're providing capacity to the agency. And so, again, we're excited about that and glad that we can play the role that we play. Next slide. This is the RAP Connect portal. RAs will have access to this to be able to connect with hiring managers. We created this platform for hiring managers and RAs to be connected. So they're able to create a profile, have all of their details on here, and also provide their resume. And Forest Service employees can also create a profile as a hiring manager and sort through the list to see if there's any candidates that kind of match what they may be looking for in positions to fill. And so we really encourage the RAs to use this platform, especially when they're not going to be hired on their unit. So again, if you know that's you and your unit, and there's a potential that you may not be able to hire them, then help them to be successful on this Route Connect portal. Hiring managers are also able to drop jobs on this, so they're able to post positions. So it's somewhat similar to our outreach database where we post positions. A hiring manager can post a position here, and the RAs can express interest in their position. So the last thing I'll say about this portal is that this is what we're using right now, but we are working to bring it in-house and make it a .gov platform. And we're hoping that that will roll out next year, but we'll see. We'll definitely keep you guys updated. But as of right now, that's the Route Connect portal. So if you have any positions vacant right now that you're looking to hire some RAs in, go ahead and take a look at this Route Connect portal and share it out widely with others who may not know about the Route Connect portal. And you can go ahead and hire those RAs that have already completed the program into the agency in permanent, term, or temp positions. So yes, you heard that right. RAs, once they receive the certificate, can be hired into temp, term, or permanent positions. Next. So as I wrap up my presentation, I encourage you to, once you do hire your RA, I encourage you to allow them to really spread their wings and not just focus on the job that you hired them as to do, but to let them be exposed into the amazing things that we do as an agency. We have a lot of cool projects, a lot of really cool duty stations and like the experimental forest and all things that they're able to, be exposed to and get experience. So provide them that opportunity. Again, we have RAs that have gotten on the plane for the first time, moved miles and miles away from their families. And so we can do a good job of exposing them to things that they've never seen before, or maybe even just seen it on TV. So this is just some pictures of some RAs and their various experiences of doing rescues. There in the middle, that was a law enforcement guy. And I think the one to the right is also one of our law enforcement RAs. We have some RAs that have worked on ski lifts, and they didn't even know that we managed ski lifts. RAs doing fire, RAs that were very instrumental in the reopening of El Portal on the El Junque. And so, which she's here actually. I saw Brenda earlier. Hi, Brenda. Our RAs have had some amazing experience. So again, we encourage you to allow them to spread their wings, get these different experiences, and to take pictures. Don't fuss at them too much if they have their phone out. Let them take a quick pic to be able to send to us to get that experience, to have that memory, and then they can put it back up and get back to work. But again, our RAs are really getting good experiences, and it's because of you. And I believe that's my last slide. You can click forward to see. All right, and this is my amazing team. This is just a quick picture of us from orientation back in June in Colorado, Region 2, Rocky Mountain. It was an amazing trip, and we have there Michaela Hall on the left. We have Mimi, we have Vanessa, we have Ruby, and myself. And that's just a quick picture from our orientation. So thank you again for letting me share this information about the RAP program. Hopefully you guys feel better about the program. You feel like you know a little bit more than you did coming into it. You know who you need to be connected to be successful, whether it's in-house or with our partners. And I believe some of our partners are still here, as well as our liaisons. So at this time, we're going to stop sharing the screen. And I'm going to come back on camera and we're going to take some questions. And I know that was a lot, so thanks for bearing with me. All right, Vanessa, where should we start?
I believe we've covered the questions on the chat. If anyone else has questions, they can unmute.
Perfect. Thank you. So if all the questions are covered in the chat, if you have any questions right now, feel free to go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you and you can ask your question out loud, or you can drop it into the chat. All right, not seeing any questions. Either you guys are just being shy, or I did a pretty good job of being
so
very
thorough. So
thorough about the program. Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Sylvia, you always do an excellent job. So, but you know me, I
you.
can't let a moment pass to ask a question. I was curious if you could speak a little bit to the interview process and if there are any required interview questions, or if certain partners provide interview questions, etc.?
Yeah, great question. And so what's going to happen is, we'll provide more guidance as we get closer to that. But a lot of times it's going to be partner specific. Sometimes there's a different, I'll just give you an example. For instance, HAF, and I know some people from HAF are still here. HAF kind of has a different way that they do interviews. I know they have a larger staff, so they like to participate in the interviews. Whereas, let's say, another partner may not participate in the interview, so they may just provide the candidates, say, do your interviews, provide us the candidates back. And so some of that stuff is going to be partner specific. And so the partners will share with the mentors a lot more resources once they are connected as far as what the expectations are going to be. So we'll give them the timeline, tell them when the interview should be done. Partner will provide specifics that are related to their particular organization, and we'll get through that. And I know in the past, we have kind of steered away from video interviews, but we're back open to the video interviews. But again, we'll work with the partners, and the partners will provide additional information on how the interviews will be conducted. As far as questions, we always provide some sample questions. The Washington office do. But again, the partners also have sample questions. But the mentor, you can develop your own questions. One of the things I will say, and like I said, we usually kind of do a presentation or something right before that. This is not the Forest Service process, right? This is the RAP process. So make sure that we take our Forest Service standard hat off and make sure that we put on a RAP hat. And we understand that there's not a certain amount of reference checks that has to be done. There's not a certain amount of interviews that have to be done or questions that has to be asked. This is kind of like a more flexible, a more informal process, if you will. So the goal is to just finding a good candidate. And so again, we'll provide more guidance on that as we get closer, as well as the partners will too. But hopefully that helped. Like I said, you guys can come up with your own questions, but we will provide like some standard questions too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks for that, Nina. I see you dropped something in the chat box. All right. Are there any other questions? So hopefully everyone understands everything that you need to do as of right now to prepare your PDs to be responsive to the partners. So again, what's going to happen next is that we are right now still going through the process of GNA to get those agreements executed. I anticipate them being executed within the next week or so, a week or two. And once those are executed, the partners are going to receive a list of your positions, right? And you're going to have a position ID. They're going to receive your email address and the contact information and stuff that we have right now. They're going to reach out to you. You're going to be responsive to them to provide them the PD information, and then they're going to post your jobs. We're looking to start recruitment as early as September 1, right? September, as a former recruiter, September is heavy prime time recruitment time. So again, be responsive to your partners so that they can get out there and start headhunting and finding some, good candidates. And as well as you can start sharing that job posting with your network and professors and people that you may know as well. And we'll get through that recruitment cycle. The partners are going to provide you 3 to 5 candidates. Sometimes they may be nice and provide you more, but they're going to provide at least 3 to 5 candidates for you to be able to interview and then make that selection. You're going to then provide them with your selection as well as some alternates, and then they're going to make the job offer. And then we're going to start our onboarding process. So again, more details to come about that part of the process. But I always like to start the program off with this mentor meeting to first welcome you to the program, set the level of expectation, provide this general information so that we can set you up for success and get you started on your way as a mentor. So again, hopefully this has been helpful. I see some more questions. Do the partners provide cohort onboarding for their RAP separate? Yes. So the Forest Service will have our onboarding process, and partners also have their own separate onboarding, which is a lot shorter than ours. Very different. And they're going to provide you guys mentor resources, and they're going to provide the RA those resources and things that they need. If I have a question about
I'll jump in for Kristen's question. Yes, so all of the mentors for this cohort will receive a cohort resources folder, which we will be sharing with you. And Victoria's question about Rap Connect portal, feel free to ask myself.
If I have okay, yeah. Yeah, you can connect with Vanessa about the portal. And also about like Vanessa said, we'll have a resource folder for the mentors. You guys can, click that and get a lot of resources. And then that we're going to have a mentor guide. We are working with OC now to get the final approval of our updated mentor guide. And as soon as we have that approved, updated mentor guide, we will share that with you. It has a lot of information in it as well. When and how do we find out which partner we are assigned? They will contact you. Like I said, we're going to give them the list once the agreements are executed through GNA, and then they will contact you to say, hi, we're Mobilize Green, you're assigned to us, and then you'll be able to move forward, as well as your liaisons will know as well. So you'll know once you're contacted, but if you want to know early, you can ask your liaison because they will be informed at the same time as the partner. So they'll be the first to know. Is that it? Okay. All right.
Communication point of view, someone who does it for
Is someone, was that a question or someone is? We have some RAs missing from the winter cohort. Yeah, so Piper, if they weren't on the list that we gave you guys, then they weren't selected for the cohort. So liaisons have a list of those mentors moving forward, positions moving forward, but if they weren't on your list, then they were not selected. All right, so one last ask of questions. So everyone feels good about being a mentor. You're excited. You're ready to create those IDPs and training plans and PDs and connect with your partner to do some great recruiting. And we're going to be open-minded. We're changing the look of the agency. We're having an open mind of inclusivity, all things, diversity. So I guess that's it. And I just thank you guys so much. Thank you to our partners for joining today. Thank you to our liaisons for joining today. Again, you guys have a big support system here internally and externally. So utilize us, and we look forward to working with you throughout this process. And if you do have any other questions, again, you can reach out to us, but we will be following up through email with more resources, with links, and your partners will be contacting you guys very soon. So thank you guys so much. The last thing is we're going to continue to use this chat as your mentor chat. So we'll keep this chat going to continue to support you. So if you have questions, you can actually just use this chat. So we encourage you to pin this chat, and we'll continue to use this one moving forward to just kind of have all things here as a Q&A. So I almost forgot that, but anything else, Vanessa, before we close out?
I think you covered it all.
Okay. Any last comments, Mimi? No? All right. Well, again, thank you guys so much, and welcome to the Resource Assistant Program. We look forward to working with you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you all.